Hi, this is Michael Rubin, and we've been talking about playing the Dorian scale in multiple positions. We looked at it in first position. We're going to look at second and third position because, in my opinion, any self-respecting harmonica player has some ability to handle first, second, and third position. Now, first position was pretty difficult. This doesn't mean I'm expecting you to play first position Dorian. Part of what I'm doing is showing you some things are more difficult than others. But I will always go first, second, and third position in that order, and you get to choose whether or not something is easy or something is challenging and how much you want to challenge yourself. So now we're going to look at second position, cross harp, key of G on a C harp, or key of D on a G harp, or key of E on an A harp. We're going to use the key of G to figure out the names of the notes in the G Dorian scale, and then where they are on a C harp. Now the notes in the G scale are going to remain particular to the C harmonica, but the tablature that we find is going to give us the cross harp tablature for any harmonica. So if we know 2 draw is G on a C harp, we also know 2 draw is D, or basically the first note in the Dorian scale, on the G harp. So in order to get a Dorian scale, you need to take a major scale and flat the 3rd and the 7th note. So what are the notes in G major? G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. And if you don't know this by now, look at my earlier stuff. So what's the 3rd note? G, A, B. So if we flat that, we get B flat. Now some people will say, well, you could get A sharp. But to me, that's not staying in line with the idea of flatting a 3rd. B is the 3rd. To flat it, you get B flat. The 7th note is G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G is F sharp. So we're going to flat that from F sharp down to F. Now some people may say, an F is not a black key on the keyboard. How can it be a flat? The term flat means 1 note lower than, at least in my definition. And so F is 1 note lower than F sharp. Since F sharp is the 7th note in the major scale, we can call F the flat 7th, even though it's not a black key. All numbers relate to the major scale, the number placements in the major scale. So there is no F in the G major scale, but there is an F sharp. It is the 7th. When you flat it, you get F sharp, and you can call it the flat 7th. So hopefully that's clear. So let's look at it. So here's the notes in the G Dorian scale on a C harmonica. I want you to notice that from 1 blow to 6 draw, everything is there without overblows. There are some tricky bends, 2 double, 3 double, and 3 single. Depending on how advanced you are, that's different levels of challenging, but there's no overblows. This is one of the most common ways that people play blues in cross harp on a C harmonica. So if you want to start getting some blues, this scale is a great way to do it. Then starting in the middle register, 6 blow is G, 6 draw is A, but then there is an overblow. 6 overblow is B flat, the flat 3rd note. For some of us, overblows are no problem. For others, they either can't play an overblow or they don't like the sound of it. So they use a half-valved harmonica, or they use a retuned harmonica so that 6 draw is tuned up from A to B flat, or 7 draw is tuned down from B to B flat. There are other ways, but that's the most popular. But let's say you're not that kind of guy. You like the standard diatonic layout, but you can't do an overblow. Well, sorry to tell you this, but you are screwed. This is a very important bit of information. This is, in my opinion, the crux of this video. Most of the time, the most commonly played music on harmonica is blues. The most common way to play blues is cross harp. The Dorian scale is a bluesy scale, and the thing that really separates it from the major scale is the flat 3rd and the flat 7th. in the middle octave, you are missing the flat third. This is big news. One of the main notes that makes it bluesy is not there. It's missing. People have been trying to figure this out forever. If you listen to Canned Heat on the Road Again, it's the first example I can find where somebody took the harmonica and retuned the note. What he did, as far as I understand, Al Wilson took the sixth draw, the A note reed, and put a piece of tape on it and fooled the weight distribution of the reed to thinking it was a B flat note. And if you listen to his solo, boom, boom, dun, 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 down, that down note is the B flat note, and you can hear it's got a slightly different timbre than the rest of the harp. It's a pretty cool solo, though. So, yeah, this is problematic. Then, starting on 7 blow, the rest of the scale is there. You do have a tricky one. 10 double bend is B flat, and it's not so easy to do 10 double bend. I don't care who you are, although it is easier on the lower pitched harmonicas. So we're going to jam with it, but before we do, I want to kind of think about what notes to avoid or what notes to play, and I want to think about the blow notes without bending. The blow notes on a C harmonica are C, E, G, C, E, G, and it just repeats. Every one of those notes is in the G Dorian scale. So even though when I wrote down the tablature, I didn't write 3 blow, I chose its duplicate note, 2 draw, I can still play 3 blow. It's a G note, it's in the G scale. So what this basically means is I can play any blow note and sound good. So if I get a little lost, blow. The draw notes are not so easy. 3 draw and 7 draw are the note B. There is no B in the G Dorian scale. If I really want to sound Dorian, I have to avoid 3 draw and 7 draw. Now, lots of people play major blues with 3 draw and 7 draw. It's okay. There's lots of notes that are not in the Dorian scale that still sound good during blues. But if you want to be very strict to Dorian, avoid 3 draw and 7 draw. Now, if you're going to play a minor blues or any kind of minor song, you want to avoid 3 draw and 7 draw. It's the note B, and B is the 3rd note in the G major scale. In minor, that is the one note that really sounds rough. So don't hit the B note in a minor song, be it a regular minor or a blues minor. Okay, so give me a second. I've got to set up my band on the box to play a blues. Okay. Yes. What? No. Okay, hold on a second. Something went wrong. I'm going to have to... Okay, I think I got it now. Hold on a second. Okay. Okay, so if that seemed a little choppy there, I pressed stop on my video without intending to do it. I wanted to press stop on the band on the box. Okay, so now I'm going to play minor Dorian. So I'm going to set up my band on the box to play a minor progression that will be diatonic to the Dorian scale, meaning that every note in the chords will be a note in the G Dorian scale. I'm going to use a G minor chord, a C major chord, and a D minor chord. So give me a second to set it up. Okay, I think I'm there. Hold on. Here we go. So there you have it. 2 ways to use the G Dorian scale. And hopefully what this does for you is encourages you to try playing minor. I know that for some of you, you understand that minor gets a little easier in 3rd, 4th, and 5th position. But some of you who are just getting started on harp may say, well, I don't really understand those positions. I understand cross harp pretty well, but I can't play minor for cross harp, can I? And hopefully what you just learned is that yes, you can. The Dorian scale is a great way to play minor in cross harp. The main trick is you don't want to hit the major third, the B note, 3 draw and 7 draw. Also 10 single bend is a B note, but that's a real tough one to hit. You probably aren't going to be hitting that too often. So yeah, it's a great way to play minor. So instead of when somebody says, let's play a song in G minor, instead of you saying, well, I think I'll go get a drink, you can join in with cross harp. See you soon.